Flying fishes, they're the goats. They're like the badass pilots. Like they're like the Tuskegee Airmen of fish. They're like the coolest possible guys.
I only know them from cartoons, and I do not want to trust that reference point. They flying?
Flying fish?
Yeah, like really flying?
Wait, are you saying you don't know if flying fish are real?
Smoke.
Well, I mean, I'll say probably my soon-to-be father-in-law. His name is Dick, and I'm still not. I think I'm just gonna keep going with the Mister on it. I don't really.
Whether he knows?
No. I mean, he wants me to call him Dick because that's his name, and that's fair to want. But I'm not. I don't know.
I'm not gonna.
And you know what's funny? I'm from Georgia, so I think I get like he just acquaints it to that. He's like, oh, you're Southern. You're very proper, and I don't want to say your name.
It's good to see you, William. What a great service. Yep. Sure thing, Pops. You're like, I'm in the narthex, dude. I'm so close to Boulder. I'm not going to be like Dick with a hard D.
I can't imagine anything after that not being like in jest, I guess. You know, like, hey, Dick. Right? Like, what was it going to be? I'm trying to think of a normal thing that you would say to a
It's like, there's no sentence that's not a bit, kind of. It's too fertile of ground.
Dick, I want your daughter's hand in marriage. And it's as simple as that.
Hey, hold the door, Dick.
How is that? Yeah, I don't see how that could benefit either of our relationships, really.
All right, that's actually a good. You want to open with that scene? So like, I'm a guy you know after church, and my name is just something really inappropriate, and you're just trying not to say it.
Yeah.
Hell of a service.
Oh, goodness! Thank you so much for that. I did. I noticed you and your family there in the second row, and it's so wonderful.
Yep, you know us. Everyone knows us. We're right there down the front.
Exactly, and I know of you and your wife, and your lovely
Linda.
daughter. Yes, Linda.
Yep,
exactly.
Yep, you got Erica.
I'll continue it. Yeah, no, and then Charlie too.
For Charlie, the little guy. Is he still doing? Was it soccer, cello?
He's doing terrific. I imagine. Let me.
Where is he?
My son.
You imagine he's doing terrific. Is he around?
Yeah, he's around, of course. Let me stop.
Are you looking after him?
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. Of course. He's actually downstairs with the other children.
Oh.
I've noticed that Erica doesn't go down with the other children during the church service. She stays with the adults.
Yeah.
She wants the good stuff, huh? She wants the real deal.
I thought Erica was your daughter.
Interesting.
Folks, it's Holy Smokes, where we smoke weed and tell Bible stories. I'm Scoochie Boochie. I didn't tell you I'm going to go by my rapper name, not my...
Oh, I didn't
Hello,
know that at all.
I'm Scoochie. Because why would I be
why not?
Michael?
Yeah.
Hello.
That's a great point. I think that's the point we're trying to make, is that people's names should be avoided at all costs. Their true identity should be masked.
Everyone should pick. It's like a username.
Yeah.
Why does it you start and they're just like, this one's already Michael? I mean, I definitely turned out Michael. Like, they were fucking spot on, but they did not know.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they nailed your name to who you are? This is Will, by the way.
Yeah, I'm Will, and I only feel that way because I've only had like one other Will in a class growing up or something like that. So it's felt unique enough to where I feel like I can have ownership over it. If I were named Matt or Matthew growing up, my ego would be on the floor, I think. Because of the amount of times I would throw my head around and it would not be for me. Would destroy me.
Yeah. Having like Michael is like a pretty like stark reminder of like, I'm one of many. There's a lot of these, not that special.
And I commend you for that. I mean, I guess, do you throw around your head for like a mic too, even?
Yeah, because like, especially like people that don't know me that well and my immediate family. Those are the two categories of people that call me Mike. Honestly, I do like it though because it feels like I'm being respected. Like they assume I could change a tire. I cannot.
Yeah, I guess I can see that because it does come with something. But I couldn't get over the fact that someone wanted to see me or to speak to me. Oh, they didn't. It's crushed. And because will is a word, it has happened, and I'll catch it with well as well.
Oh, damn.
So it really, I mean, it still happens, and it still crushes me. So I couldn't imagine Matthew or John. No, none of it.
Honestly, I think I feel a sense of relief when someone's like Mike, and it's not for me. I'm just like sick.
Wow, it's a stark difference between us.
All right, let's tell Bible stories.
Yeah,
what do you
absolutely,
say?
absolutely.
Let's. I was just thinking we could cast lots, and by that I mean whoever rolls higher tells their story first.
I love it.
It's 4.
That's pretty high.
Same.
Simply
All right.
too high.
So I went to the. We decided to do this podcast like what 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm. When you asked me, yeah.
Yeah. So I found myself in the interesting position of like I have like 48 hours to get a Bible, and like you would think next day shipping. It's the #1 bestseller.
Yeah.
Historically, I could not find a Bible that would ship to me in like less than like 4 or 5 days. Amazon, Walmart. I went to the big ones, and I was like, "Hello, the Word of God, please. We're in America."
But there were tons of options though, right?
None could ship like in 2 days. I was like, "What?" I don't know. Maybe I just suck at Google. But so, anyways, I'm just in a large city, walking around this godless town, just looking for a Bible, dude. Because like, Target doesn't have them. Jewel Osco doesn't. And it's just like
Target doesn't have a Bible?
I know they had Jesus-y books, but not the Bible. And like I grew up.
That's a crime.
Where I grew up, Bibles are more than free. It's hard not to get Bibles, dude. I'm lousy with Bibles back home, but I'm not at home, and there's no Bibles in the house. So like, and it was -1. What was it yesterday?
Yeah, negative. We got to -4 or something.
And I don't have a car.
Yeah.
I live in a large city, so I'm like, it's a real problem to solve. Like, don't want to spend like $12, $15 on a lift to go to a used bookstore
to
buy Bibles when it's like I had them. I had so many. So I was really stubbornly thinking like Bibles are free. I should be. But then I was like, I'm not gonna.
Bibles are not free.
Yes, they fucking are, dude. In the mountains, dude, Bibles are free.
You can loan. In what way?
Because like I thought about it and I was like, I'm not gonna do this because this is already a huge karmic roll of the dice. Even recording this, like lightning watch. But so I was like, I gotta restore that balance. I'm not gonna go like. Just ask a church for a free one but the thing is I was considering this. I was like, dude, put myself in their shoes. If like that is fucked up. If you're top down, you're watching that's fucked up, dude. You're just gonna go get a free Bible from a church to go have fun with it, shall we say?
Yeah.
But I was also like, dude, from their perspective, they'd be fucking pumped. They'd get to tell like everybody, like, dude, a young man came in looking haggard. And just ask for the Word of God.
You wouldn't look haggard. You look great.
Dude, it was -5. I was in full, like, every coat I own. I was wearing a headlamp and, like, a plague mask. It looked like the apocalypse. Like, I literally thought, this is what it's going to be like going out and about once it's, like, a wrap. Dude, it's, like, fucking headlamp, like breathing thing. And then what I did is I went to 5 little libraries in the neighborhood. You know those boxes that are just out in people's, for their house with just, like, a handful of books? And I was like, there's got to be a Bible in 1 out of 5.
Big time.
0 Bibles. I was like, this godless...
That's surprising as hell, too.
Wow. Godless city, dude.
I'm sure there was 40 John Grishams and no damn Bible.
I was like, is Tom Clancy our Matthew now?
I'm picturing, I guess, whoever it is that's hanging out at the church during the day when there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
I suppose there are some sort of offices there that like clerical work does happen.
Clergy, yeah.
Clergy work and clerical work does happen. If
Clerical.
you then show up in like a -4 degree day, bundled to the gills, and all you want is like, I need a Bible. I need a Bible. I feel like that they're kind of obligated to ask you more questions, like offer you a seat and a chance to warm up or something. Because like, there's no way that you're coming in looking like that and being like, I just need the book. The book's gonna fix everything. And for them to be like, yeah, yep, the book's all you need.
You're like,
here
hey
you go.
man, how'd you get in here? Was it unlocked? Like, you good?
It does kind of. I do kind of. You know, it gives you the opportunity to be like, and where should I? You know, what's a good one? Where should I start? Your opinion.
Well, see, I actually considered that because my background, I know about the differences between denominations, and I was like, no, I'm not going to Catholic church. They probably have plenty, but I don't want to do KJV. Like, I just like also for context, how religious of a background are you coming from? Like scale of 1 to 10. What do you know?
Yeah, great question. I was grew up Methodist, which I believe is known as kind of the most loose of the clubs, and we would just go every Sunday up until I was 9, when the youth pastor was super cool, so cool that they were queer, and they got into a relationship with one of the parents in the congregation.
Like an affair?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And the church kicked both of them out, kicked the youth pastor and the family out.
Damn.
And along with that, so when that happened, about half the congregation also went and just said, like, oh, we don't feel comfortable here because that seems lame to us that you would have done that. I'm very lucky that my parents were one of them. They were like, that feels odd to us that you would kick out 2 people who were really committed to this place just because, this kind of messy thing happened. So then and I remember them saying that we were going to find a new church, and then we just kind of didn't.
I wonder, do you think the other families that left, most of them went to another church, or like there was a few of you who were like, actually kind of soured on the whole thing a little bit?
Totally. I think that totally soured plenty of people. And then I remember us going back a couple years later, because we would always, like, the one big fundraiser they did was a pumpkin patch. They just sell pumpkins wherever they got them from. I guess someone donated them for free, probably. And
like Bibles, pumpkins are free.
Yeah.
At a certain time of year, pumpkins are free. They put them down by the river.
Bibles can be free. Pumpkins certainly should be free because they both grow on trees. In a sense.
Dude, I'm glad you bring that up because we're gonna learn about growing some trees because I'm gonna do
really?
Genesis 1.
Thank God.
I don't think I've told you. Have I told you what these Bibles are? The 2 that I found in the used bookstore that I spent $17 on. Shop local.
Okay, thank you for nailing the price. That's kind of all I wanted to know. But yes, continue.
Right Bible or left Bible? Which one?
Left.
My left or yours?
Yours.
All right, you've unlocked the Precious Moments Bible. It's for kids and it has some gorgeous, soothing animations. It's got some like, let me find it. There's some like everything's gonna be okay shit in here that I find pretty nice. Like
it's the one I'll be reading from as well.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm already saying it right now.
When you see this, you're like, oh, it's gonna be all right. So this is the contemporary English version from let's see, 1995. It's a children's version. So let's get it.
I feel like making a Bible in the 90s for children, you're absolutely going to wedge in a toy.
I don't know if I'm familiar with the CEV. It's better not have Tobit. You know about Tobit?
Not one bit. Getting them.
There's something called the Apocrypha, which is kind of like the director's cut of the Bible. It has like a handful of extra books, mostly like weird prophets. Most denominations are like, that's heresy. That was too late. There were some really serious meetings in like, I don't know, medieval times or whatever, where they're like, fuck these books. Nope, too late. Bullshit. There's one by Thomas, who you play in my music video. Jesus on the beach. Lightning watch, dude. Jesus on the beach, which I think is probably out by now. This is not well planned. We decided to do this 2 days ago. Yeah.
I would think so by now.
I don't know. Let's do it. Boop. But my day one listeners know I don't fuck with Tobit. That shit ain't real. Oh, from my religious background, a lot. Now I'm just a guy who's willing to do this. So we're just gonna do Genesis 1, dude.
And I all out. Am I free to interject?
Please. I'm begging you. I'm sweating hard, dude.
Can't
you
wait.
fucking better.
Yeah.
Think of it like an improv scene. If you let someone just die, what's the longest you ever seen someone just allowed to just die alone in an improv show?
Oh God.
Like glance into the sides.
I was a part of one where we were expected to do monologues, so
yeah,
there was being tossed out for that, and just knowing no one's helping you for 2 full minutes, no matter what happens. Because guess what? This is the form, idiot.
So yeah, off the rip, God makes everything. It used to be just like water, just God's hanging out over top the water. I did not think about this till right now.
Yeah.
This is from the album The Lost City of Atlanta. It's out now. Has been out since about 2020. Check it out. This is both a good podcast and a promotional stunt. Don't get it twisted, please.
You're so early in the Bible. It's crazy. You're like, it's almost like you're reading the table of context right now, and it kind of is because you're really. This is God building out the chapters of what's to be.
He's like, okay, light, it's wet. First of all,
Wet.
off top.
You're never gonna get away from that part.
Step 1, it was wet as hell.
Get used to that right now.
I do like to imagine, like, just sitting around trying to figure out what was first. Like, you just hang out with your boys, and you're like, gotta be water, right? It seems like everywhere we go in the land, eventually you hit water, and you're like, fuck, it's mostly water, I think. We're getting the sense. And it is.
Big time.
Wet as hell. Step 1.
Deep, too.
Deep, too.
I mean, deeper than it is wide, maybe. I don't know that for sure. I don't think that's true, but, you know.
That seems like a
lot of
trivial
real estate
question
down
we
there.
should know. Is the ocean deeper than it's wide? Do you know the song, Deep and Wide? Deep and wide, there's a fountain flowing deep and wide.
I do.
Bars.
Yeah.
God separates the water from the other shit and makes the sky. And he's like, oh yeah, sorry. And also, at the first time we invented night and day, that was evening, morning, first day.
Easy.
Day 1. This is for my day ones, is what he said.
And he's just knocking out the basics.
He's like, not all wet. That's the first thing.
Right.
It is wet.
But let's splice up increments of time first.
Do you ever think about fish? And like, I just think every fish's life is depressing. It's like they're in the water. It's dark. You're just floating around. I was like, that's the worst planet to live on. Land is way more interesting, dude.
Yeah.
Because everyone who's up here was like evolutionary hustlers. You know what I mean? Like, you fucking, the ones that crawled out of the water were like, fuck this shit. Like, it's fine. Like, that's who all the land animals are descended from.
I agree with that, but man, there's so much real estate down there, and we can only be on the crust. Like, you can be crust or you can be plain, but like fish are like, man, it's wild.
It's
that
a
way.
bigger map.
Yeah,
in a video
bigger,
game
way
sense.
bigger map, and you could be ships in the night in way different ways.
Man, they found that old shark. There's like a 500-year-old shark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's doing fine, right? he's feeling good.
It's clearly better if you can live to 500, dude.
Yeah.
They were saying stuff he's like older than, dude. Like, it's like Shakespeare and like, as like what the Lions playoff drought was. It's a sports podcast too, bitch.
It sure is.
Please.
Miami, you're up next.
You ever do a live show? That'd be funny. Our first episode, like live. We're just
Live. We're also reacting live to, oh my god, the Texans.
Day 2, yeah, it's not all wet. Sky. That's second day.
Mm-hmm.
Day 3, let's have the water in one place. Land is different.
Yeah.
I always pictured it as like the land like popping up out of the ocean. That's badass, like Earthbender style.
Right.
I hope it wasn't just like a slow mud.
It's kind of what it sounds like. I mean, separating from it feels like he's pulling from the water to make the solid. I think you're
Ice.
Yeah, I think you're to be. That's kind of fun too, to make ice and then just vegetate ice and turn it into dirt. I mean, there's plenty of ways you could do it. There's plenty of ways you could have done.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That should be a video game.
Yeah.
The Earth's crust is ice instead of lava.
I think none of us gave Spore a good chance.
Really? I didn't play it.
I didn't really either, but I'm just saying. I'm not sure any of us gave it a good chance.
I also, but folks did not give it a chance.
Yes.
It's also a gaming podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls it land and ocean. He says it's good. He's like, I'm still crushing it. And he's like, let's hit plants. Plants would be sick. And this version says, and that's what happened. I've never read this translation.
It reads, and that's what happens?
Yeah, dude. I think this one might be chill. Hold up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm not familiar with this. Okay. Let's just read a little bit.
Can we cross-reference?
To be fair, yes, please.
Right.
Crack open the word, brother. You think I'm going to stop you?
Yeah, I mean, please. Where are we at here? Table of contents?
Genesis 1, dude. Chapter 1. But there might be a prologue you don't read. Is yours just like straight to the book?
Straight to
Hell
chapter
yeah.
1. Well,
That's
I mean,
a
you know, here's a producer and ooh, okay. Here I didn't mean to jump ahead, but
Tell him about that Bible, Will.
Here we are. This is the Women's Devotional Bible number 2. Now maybe you can tell me, does number 2 denote the book, like the book of a king?
I've never seen anything like it. I don't know. I guess this is an earlier edition, but 2 is such a funny thing to put after the name of a Bible.
$8.
This time, it's for real. The Bible.
Yeah,
2.
2 identical pages, and yeah, we're just jumping in. I love it.
All right, hell yeah.
Um,
And this is the women's Bible.
This is the Women's
So
Devotional Bible.
we're gonna learn some secrets that I don't know if we're supposed to know.
And if I'm catching up to where you are, and I'm trying to find the phrase, And that's what happened.
It's not in there, that's for sure.
And I just don't think it was in there.
We can do verses, because that's how it's broken
Go
down.
ahead.
You know about this, though.
Yeah.
You know at least that. So, sorry, that was so condescending about a thing I'm not. Like, you don't even know about this shit.
I for real don't. Don't you worry.
What this podcast is about, because it's like, there has to be a reason why I learned all this shit. That's not, I don't apply it to myself anymore. If it's at least very interesting and often hilarious.
Yeah, that's when none of the time I spent in church was reading any of this specifically. It was all just general, like, let's talk about being a good kid.
Yeah. So we got plants and trees. That's the third day. Fourth day, he's like, let's actually do lights in the sky. He makes specifically the sun and the moon, which is interesting, because he made light and dark. That was day one, because that's how you get day one. And then, like, 4 days later, he's like, oh, okay, so what's making the light is the sun and the moon and the stars. And then, oh my God, it says, and that's what happened.
And that's what happened.
I command them to shine on the earth, and that's what happened. I think
I'm gonna need you to switch just to see.
I'll find it.
If the verbiage is the same, because if I want it to be is the point.
Genesis 1:15, and I do expect every one of our listeners to have the word open so they can follow along. This is not a. That'd be funny. If you're driving, I want it on the steering wheel.
Everyone thinks that the Bible, I think, is a very confusing read, but there's no way it is if every paragraph ends with and that's what happened, man. Because I can take that in for sure.
Oh yeah, so the Women's Bible says, and it was so. That's some biblical shit.
It is, and I think for that reason you should continue with that one.
Yeah. No, but it's chill, bro.
It's chill.
Pick left Bible.
It's chill. And it was so though. That is the vibe, huh?
Yeah. There's another translation called The Message, which is like chill as hell. Uh-huh. And if this is anything like that, or even like slightly in between that, what a treat. I'm really happy this is one of the few Bibles this godless used bookstore has. But shout out. Support local business.
It wasn't the one on Wellington, was it?
It's called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shout out. No, they didn't sponsor us. I'm bleeping that. It'd be funny if we got sponsored by the used bookstore that we got. You could get that so cheap. I'll hit you up. Quick sidebar. I actually did reach out to the used bookstore about sponsoring the podcast, and they said, quote, congrats on the vlog. We're good. So they are not a sponsor, but if you would like to help keep Holy Smokes going, here's some ways you can help. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit subscribe, drop us a comment, drop us a like. If you listen in on Spotify, hit follow so you never miss an episode. Maybe leave us a review. If you really, really don't want this podcast to die, please head on over to patreon.com/holysmokespod. Our Patreon is super worth it. I'll tell you why. First of all, I've already recorded 26 episodes, so you're guaranteed a constant stream of quality content. The episodes on Patreon have no ads, so if you hate this part, subscribe to the Patreon. You'll never hear me promote anything ever again. We're going to have monthly bonus videos, exclusive videos you can't get anywhere else. That includes unreleased episodes of Stand Up for Plants, bonus Scoochie Boochie content. This month's video is called May I Tube. It's a very strange thing I made in the depths of quarantine. And then finally, I'll throw your name in the credits as a thank you for being a part of the flock. Thank you for helping support Holy Smokes with Scoochie Boochie. Let's get back to the show.
And he knew you were doing a podcast. He was like, there's no fucking way that kid is... He's doing something stupid like a podcast.
All the gear except for the headlamp I mentioned, like ripping the mask off, fucking like gator, like so it's like around just my eyes, and I'm just like Bible. It's weird, dude. Nobody buys Bibles. You just either already have one or you never do. Nobody's like, oh shit, I gotta get a Bible today.
It's just.
And then he's like, ocean, let's fill that up with fish and birds. He goes, fish and birds. They're the OGs.
Two staples.
It's funny because, like, didn't it actually go, like, fish, amphibians, I guess birds around it. How early were birds?
What do you mean by actually?
Oh, boy. Plot twist, you're raised less Christian than me, but now you're way hardline.
But I got the message when I was there. What was first? Yeah, fish were first, right?
Definitely fish for sure was first. Yeah. So that, I'm down. Yeah. Fish straight to birds is what's weird. I don't think you go fish straight to feathers. No. Flying fish, though.
No.
Flying fishes, they're the goats. They're like the badass pilots. Like, they're like the Tuskegee Airmen of fish. They're like the coolest possible guys.
I only know them from cartoons, and I do not want to trust that reference point. They flying? They're
Flying
really
fish?
Yeah, like really flying.
Wait, are you saying you don't know if flying fish are real?
Like, but like going, going
Oh,
up
you're
through
saying-
the trees.
Do they meet that criteria?
Yes.
It's more of a glide. It's Buzz Lightyear.
Thank you. That's what. Yeah.
It's Chum Lightyear.
Absolutely.
Or something.
It's Chum Lightyear.
There has to
That's
be a
right. It's
better one.
Spyro the Dragon. We're not
Oh,
really.
dude, shout out to Spyro.
We're
That'd be the
gliding.
dream sponsor. That's
This
my
is a
end
gaming
goal.
podcast.
If nothing else happens, we get somehow sponsored by someone connected to Spyro. That shit was my shit, dude.
Boy.
It's a gaming podcast. Oh, this is so God made the giant sea monsters and all the living creatures that swim in the ocean. This Bible's badass, dude. This was awesome.
Sea monsters. What benefit does it have of?
That's kick ass, dude. This is spicy.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like it's pizza, but this is the ranch,
I'm
dude.
not turning it away. Yeah.
Don't you fucking take away my fucking Bible. Careful, bro.
Fish and birds, and then we went back to the ocean to really get crazy.
He's like, man, some of them are fucking huge.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a bigger fish. Qui-Gon Jinn. That's Judas 619.
Yep.
Then he's like, okay, Earth, give life to all the animals. And he says, he's like, tame animals and wild animals. The other one I read called them livestock and whatever. He's like, there's beef and cows, and there's just deer around. Like,
Sure.
And then, let's see. Oh, he's like, and now we will make humans. And they'll be like us. We'll let them rule the fish, the birds, and all the other living creatures. So he made them like himself. He made men and women. And he said, hey, fucking go nuts. You guys are in charge of all the living things. Bust until there's so many of you. Invent skateboarding. It's all you. You're going to be the first animal to leave the food chain. It's paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Big paraphrasing on all of this.
I mean, what I'm hearing is that he very well could have. It was so close to him just doing that to the birds instead.
Yeah, we were just the number one draft pick, bro.
He made them first.
And he was like, they're definitely not in charge. He made sea monsters, and he's like, well, that can't be in charge. That'd be a scary planet.
Is it because it's like the first pancake, or if it's because like I make? Why do you start with something that's unimportant?
The first pancake is such an apt metaphor. I've known about that all my life, but I never heard someone say it. That's.
I mean, that could be the situation where he's trying. He
Yeah.
took a stab at it. I was like, oh, I mean, these are good and fun, but like. One more try, and then one more try is all it takes for him. Like that's all he needs.
He's like, Seagull, look out! Everything is Seagull. Hey,
Yeah.
Seagull, look out! Everything's gonna be. Where are you going? Not them.
Okay, not them. Fit? No, not them.
The Fisher's like, what's up? Yeah, I can run it. What? He's like, because he lets him name the other animals. So he's like, hey, fish, name the seagull.
Fish were first. Now that I'm thinking of it, they're so easily tricked. They're so uncommunicative, and birds can like find shiny objects and solve puzzles and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So fish first, birds second, humans third. Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Third time's the charm. That's literally where that comes
Also,
from.
don't forget, he was like, cows? Definitely not. No.
Oh right.
These fucking smell.
Yeah.
And then
And they're gonna hurt the
wild animals. He's like, deer, not a chance. It's funny when you see like videos. There's not other animals that have like a blooper reel online. There's so many videos of deer fucking up, like fucking tripping and getting like stuck in shit. And I don't know what your algorithm is like, getting fucking hit by cars.
Not deers, but yeah, you're so right.
Just getting beaten to death by hand.
Deer
Like,
loose in a grocery store and then get spooked. Yeah.
yeah, deer humps lawn ornament. Like there's bears aren't taking L's. Actually, bears take L's too. There's a lot of funny bear vids. What animal has the most bloopers online? But that's wild.
I mean, cat.
Wild though, because like cat easily.
Oh, you're saying.
What other wild animal has more fails, shall we say, than deer? I think it's close between deer and bear.
The horse community wants me to say horse.
Tame, pretty much.
I'm not
tame.
sure they're on my algorithm, but I'm sure there's a horse trough of videos and content that I'm not getting.
Definitely. Does the horse community have a voice in your head? I mean, I respect
They
it.
have a lot of they're strong. They have a lot of pull. I mean my favorite cousin is I shouldn't have said favorite, but here we are. Is very into horses now, and I'm realizing that like that has to be I have to be okay with that because that is absolutely just a direction that like so many kids take is like horse.
Yeah.
Some kids like skateboard, some kids like Comedy. Some kids like horse.
Horse. Yeah, it's a whole. You can. Yeah, that can fill all your free time. No problem.
Yeah, big time. But me personally, I'm seeing mostly deer.
Getting plastered.
I'm seeing deer trip and fall. All over the
Drunk
place.
deer.
Vaudevillian style.
Drunk deer gets clotheslined by 2 motorcycles. Give me a clickbait deer vid.
Here we go. We got scared deer discovers car on highway.
Deer shoots piss at own reflection, cries.
Wow. Yeah. Deer gets disoriented inside the nursing home.
Deer clearly afraid in Spencer Gifts.
There's a lot of empathy in this headlines for the deer. A lot of like humanizing of like, that deer was probably so terrified. If anyone's the victim, it's not the deer.
No. You can't blame it. He's like, hey, you should know better than to go into Walmart. Deer's like, what the hell's a building, dude?
It's the structures around a deer. And I think actually this is a good point, and this comes back to a very moral sensibility, which is if you see a deer in a place that a deer should not be, in a city,
yeah.
I think there are 2 very quick thoughts for a lot of people. One being, it's awful that we take away their habitats, and this is just what we do. We push them further and further, and this is where they are. It's where you shouldn't be. There's also the people who see that and go like, man, I wish I could shoot that thing. It sucks I can only shoot that thing when it's in the forest. I wish I could shoot it here, man. Dang, I wish I could shoot that thing. I wish I could shoot anybody here.
I just felt like hunting posts. Like, no offense if that's your hobby. I've never done it, so I can't really judge it. But like posting that, it's like, killed this, woo, in the feed is crazy. That's crazy if that's normal.
Still feeling good. This was a week ago, and I'm still thinking about it.
This is fucking dead, and I wanted you to know. Hell yeah, you happy for fucking the deer looks fucking in new hunting vid.
Yeah.
Dude, quick story.
We're all chasing it.
Because I want to quote this, because it's just a real thing that happened. A friend of a friend went on a first date at a Costco. Did I tell you about this? And it was a cute idea that came up on their first date. Second date, like, you never been to Costco? I'll take you to Costco. Cute. They're like, that'll be cute. And it's slammed, super packed. They go to get the hot dog. They have to share a seat with a random guy because it's that packed. He's like, mind if I sit? He's like, yeah. He busts out his own onions. Ziploc bag full of his own chopped onions. And he goes, the onions here are terrible. I bring my own. And they're like, okay.
Good man. Good man.
And then I think he has his own, I think it's like garlic salt or something too. He's like, they don't have this. You want some of this?
This is all good. Yeah. Hold on.
But they're doing
Of course. But like, I'm just
he's
saying
not wrong.
The things he has are fine with me.
He's got a plan, but he's an awkward man, basically.
Yeah.
And then at some point he goes, have you seen the recent video? And they go, no. And he goes, would you like to? And they go, no, thank you. And he pulls it out, and it's like a Facebook reel or something of a cop pulling someone over, and then a different car hits the parked cop car. And
that's great.
They were like, wow. So that's the phrase that's been living in my head, dude.
Have you seen the video?
Have you seen the recent video?
That's good. Okay. Have you seen the recent video?
I gotta tell, this is the good news I want to spread. That is the funniest phrase I've ever heard. Oh, have you seen the one that came out today? Oh, have you seen the recent video? Oh, that's the search term?
I got it pulled up, because I have it pulled up. It's, buddy. So, it's quick, too. The recent video, thank God it wasn't long this time.
It can be even more recent if I do it right now.
I hate when they're TED Talks. I like when they're these.
Yeah, so I want everyone to have that. Have you seen the recent video? Use that as an icebreaker. Try that on a date.
And then, because you can do anything. Everyone's got a favorite video. You can just show anybody your favorite video. It's fun.
Yeah.
My favorite video is 4 seconds long.
What's that?
It's called The Color Red. It's a guy filming his computer, and he types into Google The Color Red, and he clicks images, and he zooms out, and it's just a bunch of squares of different shades of red, except one's blue, and it cuts on it and zooms in slowly, and it has the X-Files sound. It's art. I mean, it's 6 seconds long. It's great. You can see The Color Red. It comes up immediately.
Dude, that's an art form that's new, that some people are very good at, which is being able to describe an internet piece of media verbally in a way that's like engaging and works as a story. No easy task. You just did it, my friend. That was great.
Thanks so much. And to be fair, and to add a little more, it's a vine. So if that adds color for anybody, that's a specific person to add color.
This is a young millennial podcast as well. Just to really narrow down the niche. People that are okay with having a good time with the Bible, okay with weed, okay with cusses. What else we got? Spyro, NFL. Fucking, it's a gaming podcast. It's sports. It's parlay. It's a gambling. We're gambling also. I mean, we're gambling in every sense of the word. Lightning watch.
Are you ready to embark on a journey where creativity knows no bounds? Welcome to Wordsmith, the ultimate online storytelling game where every word counts and every story shines. Join your friends for an adventure that unfolds with every spoken word. With just a 2-sentence prompt, you'll craft tales that will leave everyone on the edge of their seats. From epic sagas to hilarious anecdotes, the possibilities are endless. But here's the twist. In Wordsmith, it's not just about the story you tell, it's about how well you tell it. After each submission, it's up to your peers to vote for the most captivating tale. Will your story reign supreme? Visit Wordsmith at wordsmithgame.com. Start crafting your masterpiece today.
I just decided this. We don't have a plan for what. I needed to hold the mic thing up, the pop shield. But this is a lamp that is touch activated. Boop, 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 and I'm done. Boop, boop, and that's it. But I needed to secure the stand to it. But I'm deciding it's a story lamp. This is when this light is on, someone's digging into the word we're telling story. So, Will, after you.
Wow, thanks so much. This is I've come to learn a much larger story than I initially thought when I chose it. Elijah is our main character, and I want to say with a J because there's also his son Elisha.
Yeah.
And is that the pronunciation of both of them, Elijah and Elisha?
Yep.
This is Kings. I don't know anything about many of these books, but Kings seems to be a lot about a war.
Yeah.
A lot about a war. And Elijah, to my understanding, is a prophet, and he needs to prove that. And this is just a little snippet of him attempting to prove that he has, the power, the word of God in his ear. Elijah said to them, and them is unimportant, I think, in this context. Yeah. I am the one and only Lord's prophet left. And Baal, who is evil king.
Baal is just the god that's not God. And every time God's like, fuck that guy, he's not real.
Interesting. So Baal kind of represents any false idol.
Yeah.
There is. But Baal has 450 prophets. Okay. So Elijah's saying, I am one of the Lord's prophets, the real Lord. Sure.
We're good. I tried to connect to James's AirPods, but we're good. Keep rolling. Thanks, James. Shout out to my roommate for letting us use his computer.
Damn, if only he's probably tuning into this.
If you guys support the Patreon, if there's ever a Patreon, I don't know. That's going to help keep the lights on and make it so we can get a mixer so that 2 mics can go into one laptop instead of 2 laptops. So
I've always thought of a better live performer than otherwise. So I like that there's one audience member just keyed in listening right now.
Every podcast should just have one guy directly below them listening to it on one AirPod while he goes about his day.
Yeah, another producer at the table is too much, but they need to be below the action.
Like they're in the cable, like the van at NFL games. Yeah. They're just got wires going there, just watching all the screens. Like it's a shuttle launch.
They've got to. Be the architect, the architect of the story. But here we are, in Elijah saying, I am the only one of Lord's prophets left. Baal has 450 prophets. Get 2 bulls for us. We're doing a test, obviously. Like that's not. It's almost like
it's not a DoorDash.
It's like at the end of a Kenan and Kel intro it's the outro, I guess, actually, where Kenan is like, we're gonna need a watermelon, a piece of string, and a grandma, and I'll see you next week. And Kel's like, wait, what? How am I gonna get those things? It's just like we all know what's gonna happen. So this is a test, obviously.
Get 2 bulls.
Get 2 bulls for us. Let them choose one for themselves. Let them pick that side. Yeah, good
After
job.
You, pick a bull.
And let them cut it into pieces.
This is street magic. This is David Blaine.
Exactly. We're setting up a trick, and that's a lot. I mean, obviously we know that that's a lot of how we prove our power in this realm, and I
have a trick off.
Why not?
It's fucking Penn and Teller impress me.
How else can you foresee? A power so mighty, how can you perceive something if not brought down to earth and revealed in a way that like we can fathom, which is like, I guess we'll find out. We're going to cut up a bowl. We're going to get 2 bowls. You pick the best one. I'm going to cut it up. We're going to prepare the other bowl. Okay, here we go. No. We're going to let them choose for themselves. We're going to let them cut it into pieces. We're going to put it on the wood and not set the fire to it. I will prepare.
I like how he's getting out in front of it. Like, and I know what you're thinking. Not fire. Not yet.
But we're not going to do the fire. Don't you worry. That's part of the trick.
Oh, okay. We throw them on the grill. Like, time out.
No. Hold on. Because I'm going to prepare the other bowl, mister.
Oh.
Elijah's saying this.
Okay.
I'm going to prepare the other bowl, and I'm going to put it on the wood. But I'm not going to set my fire either. And then you will call on your God, and I will call the name of the Lord. And the God who answers by fire, he's the God. We're doing a classic spark off.
Good old-fashioned God off, dude.
And this is... we were just talking about Survivor Season 13, and there was a horrible, embarrassing fire-making finale there.
I remember that. Oh, it was so hard to watch. It's also a reality show podcast. Rarely, though. Rarely.
Really, really brutal to watch those two go at fire making for an hour with the flint, and then Jeff say, we're bringing in matches.
Dude.
And then Sandra goes, I ran out of matches, and just had to watch Becky take it all. That was
the
tough.
worst part was how disappointed Jeff Probst was. He was like,
He absolutely was.
you honestly should be able to make... He was like pissed. He's like, I'm not here.
And Becky, I'm sure, was embarrassed as hell and was like, that was not worth winning. That no one won that. They didn't get any votes. So this is what we're doing, though. We're doing a fire-making challenge.
Yes.
And obviously, they took the challenge. They're like, all the people were like, what you say is good.
Bet.
Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, choose one of the bulls and prepare. Wait. So he is sorry. I guess this is why this takes so many pages, is because we got the plan initially, and now we're seeing him enact the plan.
Whereas nowadays, when you plan the heist, you just show the heist in the movie. But the
So
Bible's thorough. Like, this really happened, dude. So
let's cover all our bases.
made the plan, did the plan.
Prove to us that you realized that the first time it was out of context and not in the scene, because here we are with Baal. So they took the bull and they gave it and they prepared it. Then they called on the name of Baal from morning till noon. "O Baal, answer us," they shouted. But there was no response. No one answered. And they danced around the altar they had made. At noon, Elijah began to taunt them. Why would he do that?
People underestimate the swagger in the Old Testament, dude. It's like NFL Sunday. There's so much like, what the fuck is up? Like David and Goliath. There's like shit talking in that. We'll get to that. Like,
This is God's prophet, and you're supposed to be. He's
doing the wrestling like.
Well, don't worry. He says, "Shout louder," he said.
Yeah.
Surely he is a god.
Yeah.
Kind of blasphemous, even in sarcasm, if you're asking me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're one to talk.
Perhaps he is in deep thought, or busy, or traveling.
Oh, hell yeah.
Perhaps he is sleeping and must be awoken. And so they shouted louder and slashed themselves with swords and spears,
Damn.
as was their custom,
Sure.
until their blood flowed. Midday passed, and they continued their frantic... I'm going to use the word flaying until the time for
like whipping,
the
maybe?
evening.
Like whipping, flaying.
Oh, take a look. Oh, it's
What
not
is it?
it's not a taboo. It's a pronunciation.
Where is it? I'm gonna try.
Fallaciousness?
Whoa. Wait, what verse? I lost it.
Fallacio?
I don't see it. Stones, altar, name of the Lord, 12.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe it's.
I did 12. 12.
Oh, here we go. This word.
Oh, okay. Frantic prophesying.
Prophesying.
Wait,
Wow.
Wait, what'd you say?
I think I said fellatio.
I walked all the way into it. I really wanted to explain something. That's part of what this is. All right, keep going.
But they're doing. I mean, they're really putting on a show, and I think it first of all was sparked by the taunting, and there was no response. No one answered, and no one paid attention.
Damn.
Kind of.
This is the roast battle story. Like, you can tell this is supposed to be crushing in the gathering of people. Just
You
be
really
like, oh
can.
shit, ha ha ha.
And this is the women's Bible as well, so it doesn't. I don't think has any reason to hold punches.
It's the most macho story. It's like a cowboy magic off.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how not a lot of women do magic. They're just too sensible. They're like, that's stupid. I don't. It's just like, it's only dudes are like, this is sick.
Yeah. Only a little boy such as myself, and I did this, which is why I'm saying this, can get a magic kit, can go downstairs, can fucking fail a cup trick where like the ball's supposed to hold in the cup, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
And, like it like comes out. Only they can do that and look up their parents, know they failed the trick, look up their parents, and their parents are like, that was so good. And know that they lied and be like, that's still cool. I still feel good about that even.
Yeah.
I'm still going to pursue it.
It's like a mix of like, look at me, and you want to like wow someone and like do an active little trick. I think these are all dudeish impulses a lot of times.
Yeah. And then being fine that everyone kind of didn't like it. And the little bit of support and like, you know, like, oh, good that you get, you're like, that's plenty. I love it. That's awesome. I think that's a special breed.
That's such a shared feeling with improv. It's just like, you have to be okay with them maybe not enjoying it. Same thing with magic. Magic and improv is the same thing. It's like, look, even I'm like, yeah, it might not go good.
Yeah.
It's a big ask.
Yeah, big time. I think we have there's a certain like there's certain things that horribly embarrass me, like being in the way at the supermarket. I feel like my cart's blocking somebody else. It's miserable for me.
Same.
But yeah, I'll pretend to be a dog and say I don't care. What you're gonna say? I was a bad dog. Okay. So sorry. But my question to you is, what purpose does the bull serve in that test?
Oh, yeah. If you get to the calm down fire part, because it's the whole second part when Elijah's turn.
So you're aware. Okay, so you.
Oh, I know this one.
You really do.
This is one of the best ones, dude.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, here we go. They failed. Baal's prophets absolutely failed calling fire. They've got this cut up bull that's just sitting there now. Then Elijah said to all the people, "Come here to me." They came to him, and they repaired the altar of the Lord. He built an altar with the name of the Lord, and he dug a trench around it with large enough. This is mostly excavation
That's the other
work.
thing about the Old Testament. Like the detail on like building the ark and like all that shit like that. It tells you like the wood and how much. So it's like, were we supposed to like? Is it so we can do it again? Like it's like I think it's supposed to drive home that it's like real. It's like it was this many cubits. That's a biblical amount. I
did come across a chapter that was just entitled "List of Things in the Temple."
Dude, yeah. It's like QVC basically.
Brass bowls.
Yeah.
Lots of brass, essentially, is what I carried from that. Okay, so Elijah's arranging the wood.
Yep.
He's cut the bowl into pieces. He's laid it on the wood. Then he said to them,
my bowl in 2 pieces. Continue.
fill 4 large jars with water.
You said it's smart to talk past the mic, and I went, 2 pieces. 0 chance that I can see that it peaked. Anyway, sorry.
That's just the advice I got from a voice acting teacher who discouraged us all from pursuing voice acting. What can we say? He said, fill 4 large jars with water and pour it on the offering and on the wood.
Yeah.
Do it again, he said, and they did it again. Do it a 3rd time, he ordered, and they did it a 3rd time.
And that's what happened.
So truly at this point, he has not only taunted them, but now he is going the extra mile to wet the wood that he's going to.
It's the Houdini straitjacket. It's like, and I'm going to make it harder for myself. And everyone's like, no. Also, can I just say the funniest part of this whole thing is just how many prophets of Baal there are. 450 people is like a decent-sized sporting event, dude. Like
most people don't have a good sight for what's even happening.
Like a big high school football game. I don't know how many. What's a gathering that would have like 450 people?
450 people. That's like I don't know. I didn't
Small graduation.
Yeah, I didn't go to a big college, but that's like a University of Florida lecture hall, right? 450 people.
So picture like a big state lecture hall, like an auditorium type thing, and it's that many people. Like, what's the bar to be a prophet for them? These guys, what do? They fill out a form? I mean, they're down. They're cutting themselves up. Like, they're about it. But, like, do you need that many? It feels like Twitter. Like, why just have 1 or 2 voices? You don't need everyone to chime in.
And if I'm, an undecided voter in these times, I'm thinking, like, it's kind of more special if you're just one, right?
I mean, it's a little bit like Jabberwockies versus, like, one American Idol singer or something.
Because you're not going to like one of them. You're not gonna like all 450. They all aren't gonna have a whole lot of agency.
Way too big of a sample size.
Statistically,
Are you high, bro?
Half are gonna be nearsighted. Yeah, half are gonna be nearsighted. So they can't.
I think, was it 1 in 5 is going to get heart disease? I guess it was different back then.
Yeah, different
That's
back
how
then.
much bull they
They
ate.
were fit. Then the fire of the Lord fell and burned up the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and the soil, and also licked up the water in the trenches. When all the people saw this, they fell prostrate and cried.
I believe that's prostate. Fellatio, sorry.
Yeah, that
They fell prostate. They fell on their...
That actually is true in this one. Don't let them get away. They seized them, and then Elijah had them brought down to the valley and slaughtered there. Oh, my God.
Yeah. That's kind of like, you know how every play ends with like a wedding or a funeral? Most Old Testament stories just end with like a big slaughter. Then they slaughtered them, and it was slaughtered.
Because they couldn't make fire?
Because they were worshiping a false god.
Naturally.
A bunch of the Old Testament is just God being like, I'm God, I just made you guys. And then being like, we want to jack off and party. And that's how the Baal and all the like the high places do. They just had like poles. They had sick ass towers.
Yeah.
Back then a tower was like, damn.
I'm trying to picture this venue, I guess, because if we just talked about how large a place is for 450 people, so 450 people were the amount of people that were overtaken by seemingly a larger amount of people
Yeah.
who also saw this
Yeah.
very thing.
With no microphones.
no microphone.
That's a great bit in Monty Python and Life of Brian. Have you seen that? It's amazing. It's like Holy Grail, but it's like a Jesus parody. And there's a part where he's giving the Sermon on the Mount, like his absolute like his I have a dream, like it's the banger.
The Ten Commandments?
No, it's like
A separate speech I'm unfamiliar with, surely.
it's the only one you know.
Oh, you mean the one I don't know? Uh-huh.
It's you'd recognize it. It's like love is patient, love is kind.
That's
Does
letter
not
of the
it-
Corinthians?
No, I think it's the Beatitudes. It's like it's part of the speech he gives there. I think.
Cool. Keep going.
It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not evil, it is not proud.
I thought that's letter of the
something like that.
Corinthians. That's what people read at weddings, right?
Maybe.
Hmm.
That'd be awesome if you sung me in this.
I would love that.
You're just gonna are you about to fucking just cut in line to heaven, bro? It's fine. My own fucking.
I can't wait till we do the PTI roundup at the end of this, where we have to count all our errors. Okay, so a few different things. I didn't say that. I said the Lord wasn't the Lord. He is the Lord. So there was one error.
The whole thing is in error. There's no part of this is like, bingo.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like I said, blanket paraphrase.
But we've got the text.
But we got
the
it.
book.
And we have the official translations. There are two of them. One is the Women's Bible 2, and one is the Precious Moments Bible 97.
Mm-hmm.
That was dedicated to somebody.
And
That's weird.
that Bible.
Yeah, it also has $8 written in the front cover. I
Hey,
think
so
you
is
just
this one.
$8?
$8.
I think the bookstore just writes that in there. Shout out.
You paid 17. You said.
It was 8 and maybe it's tax.
Oh, for
tax
both.
even?
For both. You said.
Yeah, total.
Oh gosh.
You thought it was per Bible?
I thought it was per Bible.
There's too many Bibles for it to cost that much.
You-
It's a book so prevalent you can't even buy it. They're like, you don't have one in America, dude?
I mean, by that logic, $8 even seems steep. But
Yes, I'm saying I had
I get it.
I have so many back home, but I can't be like, yo, mail a Bible, no follow-ups. Insane.
And I'm fine. I don't need.
Yeah. Hey, mom, can I get a Bible? No reason.
And don't ask why. I was poking around at Elijah because
Yeah.
initially what caught my eye was the chariots of fire, but I did want to ask you as well because in that passage, and this is Elijah being taken away by the chariots of fire, Elisha watches this and he knows the Lord to be true because he sees the chariots of fire.
Uh-huh.
Correct? This is a show for
this
him.
is okay. This is a different story you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a different story. These are just the same characters.
Yes.
Correct.
Yep. That is
Correct.
what happens. I forgot about
Correct.
that. He's one of the like 4 people that never died. It's a cool.
So I guess my question is, I'm seeing a lot of like fire imagery,
Oh yeah.
and I
In more ways than one.
exactly, I'm associating fire with hell, and there is I guess led to believe that there's a certain kind of a holy fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
I don't
gonna-
know the difference.
If you're like me, you're gonna read the whole Bible and be like, okay, where's the part where they tell us what heaven and hell are like? And like all the shit we think of with it is like that's not in there.
There's like it barely gets mentioned. It's like like a lot of stuff in the New Testament's like life, everlasting and life in the kingdom, and but a lot of it's sort of like parable-y or whatever. It's not like so then you wake up white robes, right? It's kind of like the Good Place. Like they don't all that shit is just us taking creative liberties.
The Good Place broke it down really well. Yeah, they should have taken a writing course really,
or at least voice acting. Any other takeaways from your story here? What are your impressions of the barbecue, as we'll call it?
It's one of many tricks. It's one of many showings of power, and I do like that. There's just sometimes we gotta dunk on them.
Yeah.
Look, sometimes I gotta wet the wood about this thing.
It started all wet, and then God's like, remember that?
I still don't get what the bull has to do with any of it.
I think it's just cinematic, dude. Like,
yeah.
First of all, there's always a bull. Like bulls, it's a sacrifice thing. That's like when you're gonna sacrifice, you kill one of your livestock to say like, this is a really important, valuable thing to me. But I'm like, here you go, Lord. I would like a buff, please. And then, so like that,
Okay, so it's a separate. Because it's a showing for the Lord is why we're killing something. Not because it's important to the trick of fire. That's what I'm getting.
Because my first thought was like, I guess the crackle of fat is impressive, and I was like, nah, that doesn't make it back. I mean, I think a bull's more interesting than wood, so I think it adds a little bit of. We're just thinking it from like a performance perspective.
Exactly what I'm thinking of it from.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because it is what it is. A magic trick.
Because I'm thinking of now we have one bowl that's burnt to shreds because this thing was a column of fire, and one bowl that is untouched because they couldn't light a fire. Yeah. We've wasted two bowls. We're not eating either of them.
That bowl was sitting there. Its last thought was like, "What the fuck did I do? Why? Huh?"
And then the slaughtering makes sense to me. as much as any of it, I think. Why turn them if they were not going to fall in line with the upwards of 500, 600 people that would have had to overtake 400 people.
Yeah, I wonder how many the Israelites did it with, or did they just have like 12 elite boys or something?
Yeah, it's hard to know. 12 elite boys decapitating 450 people just in a line.
It's a bunch of like good like Falco players in Melee. Like they're just like jumping on people's heads and shit and just spinning and lasers are flying everywhere. Have you ever seen the animated Star Wars Clone Wars, like the 2D one that came before the long 3D animated series? Mm-hmm. That was just like a lot of quiet little episodes. And one is Mace Windu just kicking the ass of an entire army of super battle droids with just his hands because he loses his lightsaber.
Wow. It's
one of the best pieces of media I've ever seen. Check it out. That's the message. We have no sponsor. Go watch that. I bought it on iTunes in like, I don't know, 2007 maybe. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you can find it. I don't know what it's called. Clone Wars.
This is a Star Wars podcast.
This is a Star Wars podcast. And it's been very fun. Thanks for doing it, man.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much for having me.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
I would love to plug nothing at all.
Good. As we agreed. I was like, I'm going to ask you, so they see me asking you, but don't you fucking say a word. I'll record one later.
No, everything I do, I move in silence.